Hi, I'm Annie Hathorn, a hairstylist at Tangerine Dream Beauty Bar. Our video today is how to style curly hair. In this segment, I'll be showing you how to give it a more polished look from just diffusing it. Her hair is diffused. You want to make sure if you're going to use a curling iron on it that it is dry in the areas that you're going to curl. You never want to put a curling iron on wet hair. The curling iron I'm going to be using today doesn't have a prong, but you can use any curling iron. Just follow the same technique I'm using. You won't be using the prong or the spring. You'll just be holding the iron and wrapping the hair around the iron. You do want to be very careful with this, that you watch your fingers, that they don't get burned, and that you watch your face, that you don't get the iron too close to your face. But this is a great technique to kind of polish up those loose waves. So kind of like when we were wet setting, you just grab random pieces of hair and you wrap it around the curling iron barrel. I'm going to start around her face here and just take a section and wrap away from her face. This is a small section of hair, so I don't need to hold it to the curling iron too terribly long. I'm going to let it go, and you see we have a really pretty little spiral curl there. And I'm just going to pick up sections that I see I would like a curl to be, wrap it around, and let it go. So this process of picking up pieces and curling is more of a visual thing. You just want to look to see where a more polished curl would look nice in the hair. This curl, for instance, looks a little limp, a little lifeless. So I'm going to break it apart and wrap this chunk around the iron. I'm wrapping it. I'm watching my fingers so I don't get too close. And then let it go. I usually focus this more on the crown area because, like we said earlier, the crown area tends to have a looser curl, sometimes no curl at all. So usually the place where you want to touch up the curl with this technique would be more in the crown area, but you can work further down as well. So I'm always wrapping it away from her face. And this is a 1-inch barrel curling iron. If you have shorter hair, you could use, or a tighter curl, you could use a smaller barrel. Because Kelly's wave is kind of, a looser, bigger wave, I'm using a 1-inch barrel. When you're working with a thicker piece of hair, you can hold it a little bit longer. When you're working with a thin piece of hair, you don't want to hold it too long because you don't want to burn the hair or singe it at all. So always remember, when it's a thin piece, just hold it there for just a few seconds is all you need. So you could do as much or as little of this as you would like. I feel like I'm happy with it now on Kelly's hair, how it's still a mixture of those loose waves with some of the more polished spiral curls. Now once we're done with that, you can use either a non-aerosol like we did after diffusing, or you could switch to an aerosol because her hair is dry now and you really want to set those curls. So again, sometimes I like to pick it up a little bit to give those curls a little bit of a lift. And just spray in a little bit of this hairspray. Going to go around her face, give it a little bit of lift. Okay, so this is finished look number 2 with the curling iron. In our next segment, I'm going to show you how it's very easy to pin curly hair in kind of just a messy updo, different techniques on how to pin it up.